So, there's a big hole, in our lives when your kids leave, and this has given us something.
Kelly Ripa has always been incredibly honest on live and often shares stories from her family life during the weekday show. The ABC favorite returned to the program alongside her husband and co-host Mark Consuelos on Monday and wasted no time in making her return known. As hilarious as ever, Kelly made a tongue-in-cheek confession about her children's contrasting upbringings while talking about the prospect of being a grandparent. During a chat about grandparents, Kelly and Mark discussed their hopes for being grandparents at some point, which then resulted in them taking a trip down memory lane. They discussed how they were with their own 3 children, Michael, 28, Lola, 24, and Joaquin, 22. And both Kelly and Mark admitted that they ended up spending a lot more money on their only daughter compared to her brothers. I'm going to tell you something right now, and don't tell our sons. But if they had any idea, and they can never know, but if they had any idea how much more money we spent on Lola, the care and feeding of Lola compared to the boys. Joaquin, I was like, here, you can fit into your brother's outfit from 8 years ago. Roll up the bottoms, you'll be fine, she continued. But Lola, the only girl. If I didn't give it to her, she went to you, Mark. If you didn't give it to her, she would go to one of the grandparents. And they were like, of course. She knows how to seal the deal. We used to be amazed at that skill set. Kelly and Mark are very close to their children, and while they all live away from home now, they often spend quality time together. Michael lives the closest to his parents in Brooklyn, where he is working as an actor. Lola, meanwhile, splits her time between London and New York City, and when she's there, she stays at her parents' home in the Upper East Side. Joaquin has remained in Michigan, where he graduated from college earlier in 2025. He is an aspiring actor like his older brother, and often comes back to visit his parents. Just last month in July, Kelly and Mark appeared on Late Night with Seth Meyers, where they opened up about their children. They were asked whether any of them watched live, to which they both responded, no. Kelly then went on to say, our youngest is 22, and we asked him to come here tonight because he was visiting us. He lives in Michigan, and he was visiting us. And I said, do you want to come see Seth tonight? And he goes, no, I'll watch it on the show when it airs, she recalled. And I go, oh, you're going to watch? And he goes, well, I watch Seth, she continued. So he's like, I'm not watching for you. I'm just naturally watching Seth. What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most successful power couples, with a combined net worth of over $100 million, deliberately chose to spend less money on their sons than on their daughter? We're not talking about a few dollars here and there. We're talking about a significant difference in the cost of raising them. This isn't a story about favoritism or neglect. It's a fascinating look into the real-life parenting decisions of Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. In a world where celebrity kids seem to have it all, Kelly Ripa just pulled back the curtain on a family secret that has every parent talking. Why did she do it? The answer is more surprising and relatable than you could ever imagine. Stick around, because we're about to break down every detail. Welcome back. Before we dive into the dollars and cents, let's talk about the family at the center of this conversation. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. For decades, they've been a staple in our homes, first as soap opera sweethearts, and now as the charismatic hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark. They've built an empire, but more importantly, they've built a family. They have 3 children, Michael, their eldest, Lola, their only daughter, and Joaquin, the youngest. Publicly, Kelly and Mark have always championed a specific kind of upbringing for their kids, one grounded in normalcy despite their extraordinary circumstances. They've been open about making their kids get part-time jobs and understand the value of a dollar. They wanted to raise hardworking, independent adults, not entitled nepo babies. It's a core part of their brand. That's why it came as such a shock when Kelly made a candid, off-the-cuff confession on live television. A confession that, on the surface, seems to contradict everything we thought we knew about their parenting style. She admitted, point blank, that she and Mark spend way less money on their 2 sons. And this is where our story really begins. What could possibly be the reason? The bombshell dropped during a seemingly innocent conversation on Live. Kelly and Mark were chatting about the prospect of one day becoming grandparents when they started reminiscing about raising their own children. It was a lighthearted, funny moment that quickly took a turn into uncharted territory for the couple. Kelly looked at Mark and, with a mischievous smile, said, I'm going to tell you something right now, and don't tell our sons. But if they had any idea, and they can never know, but if they had any idea how much more money we spend on Lola, the care and feeding of Lola compared to the boys. The audience laughed, but the statement hung in the air. This wasn't just about buying an extra pair of shoes. She went on to joke about how her youngest son, Joaquin, would get hand-me-downs from his older brother. She recalled saying, Here, you can fit into your brother's outfit from 8 years ago. Roll up the bottoms, you'll be fine. But for Lola, it was a different story entirely. This one candid moment sparked a massive online conversation. Parents everywhere started chiming in, some nodding in agreement, others questioning the fairness of it all. It offers a rare and honest glimpse into celebrity family finances, a topic usually kept tightly under wraps. Kelly wasn't trying to cause a stir, but her honesty resonated because it touches on a universal parenting dilemma. Do you treat your kids exactly the same, or do you cater to their individual needs, even if those needs come with vastly different price tags? So let's break down the why. Why did the care and feeding of Lola, as Kelly put it, cost so much more? The first and most obvious reason they pointed to was simple. She's their only daughter. Kelly admitted that Lola's teenage years involved a steady stream of expenses that the boys just didn't have, like formal dresses, accessories, and other social event costs. But it went deeper than just clothes. Lola pursued creative endeavors that didn't bring in an immediate income, meaning her parents stepped in to support her more often. There was also Lola's personality. Kelly and Mark described her as knowing how to seal the deal. If her mom said no, she'd go to her dad. If her dad said no, she would go to her grandparents, who would, of course, say yes. Kelly recalled being amazed at this skill set. This wasn't presented as a criticism of their daughter, but rather as a factual acknowledgement of the different dynamics at play. This situation highlights a common, though not universal, experience in families with both sons and daughters. The expenses can often be different. And in the Ripa Consuelo's household, Lola's path and personality simply required a different level of financial input. It was a conscious choice based on her specific journey. Now, let's flip the coin and look at the boys, Michael and Joaquin. According to Kelly, it's not that they deprived their sons. It's that the boys simply cost less. A big part of this was their mindset. Kelly has explained that both of her sons were more self-sufficient and took on part-time jobs while in school, which helped them cover their own costs. They were motivated to work. Michael, the eldest, had what Kelly called a uniform approach to fashion. He'd wear a pair of jeans until they literally fell apart. Joaquin was even less concerned with appearances. As long as his clothes were clean, he was happy. This low-maintenance attitude naturally kept their clothing budget down. Their education and extracurriculars also played a role. While their college educations were undoubtedly expensive, certain circumstances helped. Michael attended NYU but lived at home for a time, which cut down significantly on housing expenses. Joaquin's intense passion for wrestling led to him being recruited by the University of Michigan, which may have come with scholarship opportunities that eased the financial burden. These weren't things forced upon the boys. They were the result of their individual personalities, interests, and life choices. Their paths were simply less expensive to support. This is a key aspect of the Kelly Ripa parenting style, fostering independence and allowing her children to carve their own paths, even if those paths lead to different financial outcomes. At the end of the day, Kelly stressed that these financial differences were never about favoritism. For her and Mark, it was about meeting each child where they were in life. Their overarching parenting philosophy has always been about teaching financial literacy and a strong work ethic. Kelly has been quoted saying, "Our job isn't to make life easier for our kids. It's to prepare them for when it isn't." They made sure their children understood budgeting from a young age and didn't have unlimited access to their parents' wealth. They wanted them to appreciate what they had and to work for the bells and whistles they desired. This approach seems to have paid off. Their children are now young adults pursuing their own careers. Michael is an actor and producer. Lola is pursuing her creative passions. And Joaquin recently graduated from college. They have the comfort of knowing they won't be saddled with a mountain of student debt, something Kelly is grateful for, but they were also given the tools and the expectation to build their own lives. The family's transparency and humor around the topic suggests that the kids understand and are perfectly fine with the reasoning behind their parents' financial decisions. So, the story of why Kelly Ripa spent less on her sons isn't a scandalous tale of parental preference. It's a masterclass in practical, individualized parenting. It's a reminder that loving your children equally doesn't always mean spending on them equally. What matters is providing each child with what they uniquely need to succeed. Kelly Ripa's candid confession wasn't just a funny anecdote. It was an honest reflection of a reality many parents face. Every child is different, with different needs, different dreams, and sometimes a different price tag. What do you think about this? Is it fair to spend different amounts on your children based on their needs and personalities? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Host, if you found this breakdown interesting and want more deep dives into the stories everyone is talking about, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.